The rain-slicked streets of Willow Creek gleamed under the sodium glow of streetlights. A small town where secrets festered like old wounds. It was late September, the air crisp with the promise of autumn. But the night carried a tension that no seasonal change could ease. Deputy Harlan Voss patrolled the outskirts, his cruiser cutting through the fog like a shark in murky waters. At 42, Harlan was a fixture in Willow Creek, broad-shouldered, with a mustache that hid his perpetual scowl and eyes that saw threats in every shadow. His badge was his armor, forged in the fires of a childhood marked by loss and betrayal. Harlan's life was a labyrinth of hidden struggles. His father, a Vietnam vet, had drowned his demons in whiskey, leaving Harlan to raise his younger siblings in a trailer park riddled with poverty. The police force gave him structure, but it also amplified his fears. He viewed outsiders, especially those who didn't look like him, with suspicion, a bias rooted in stories of them taking jobs, homes, everything. It wasn't overt hatred, he told himself, just caution. But deep down, it gnawed at him, a moral conflict he buried under layers of denial. That night, Harlan spotted a figure near the old warehouse district, a man in a dark jacket, fiddling with a backpack. The area had seen a spike in drug activity, and Harlan's instincts flared. He pulled over, his hand instinctively on his holster. "Hey, you there!" he barked, stepping out. The man turned, revealing a face Harlan didn't recognize. Dark skin, sharp features, mid-30s. Agent Darius Kane of the FBI froze, his mind racing. Darius was undercover, investigating a corruption ring that snaked through Willow Creek's law enforcement. Posing as a drifter, he'd been planting a listening device when Harlan interrupted. Darius's own struggles were veiled. Raised in foster care after his parents' deportation, he'd clawed his way to the bureau, fighting stereotypes at every turn. He believed in justice, but nights like this tested his resolve. "Hands where I can see 'em," Harlan ordered, his voice laced with an edge Darius recognized all too well. Darius complied slowly, but Harlan's paranoia spiked. "What are you doing out here, boy? This ain't your neighborhood." Darius's jaw tightened at the slur, but he kept calm. "Just passing through, officer. No trouble." Harlan's eyes narrowed. "Passing through with what? Show me that bag." As Darius reached for it, Harlan misinterpreted the movement. In a flash, he drew his gun, pointing it square at Darius's chest. "Don't move. I know your type. Sneaking around, causing problems." The standoff was electric, rain pattering on the pavement like distant applause. Darius's heart pounded. He could reveal his identity, but blowing cover might unravel months of work. Harlan's finger hovered on the trigger, his mind a storm of fear and prejudice. This was it, the moment where bias could turn fatal. Chief Lena Morrow arrived minutes later, her SUV screeching to a halt. At 55, Lena was a force, tall, with silver-streaked hair, and a gaze that could disarm a riot. She'd risen through the ranks in a male-dominated field, her kindness tempered by steel. Lena's hidden struggle was personal. Her son had been lost to a hate crime years ago, fueling her quest for moral justice. She knew Harlan's flaws, but had hoped he'd change. "What in God's name is going on?" Lena demanded, stepping into the rain. Harlan glanced over, gun still trained. "Caught this guy trespassing, Chief. Actin' suspicious." Darius met Lena's eyes, a silent plea. She assessed the scene, her expression hardening. "Lower your weapon, deputy. Now." Harlan hesitated, confusion flickering. "But, Chief—" "Now!" Lena roared. Harlan complied, holstering his gun with reluctance. She approached Darius, whispering, "FBI?" Darius nodded subtly, Lena's face set in grim determination. She turned to Harlan, ripping the badge from his chest with a swift motion. The metal tore fabric, echoing like a gunshot. "You're done, Harlan. Suspended pending investigation. Get in the car." Harlan's world shattered. "Chief, wait. I thought—" "You thought wrong," Lena snapped. "Your biases almost cost a life. An FBI agent's life." The revelation hit Harlan like a freight train. As Lena cuffed him for protocol, Darius watched, empathy warring with anger. This wasn't just justice. It was the start of something deeper. Harlan sat in the holding cell, the cold bars a stark contrast to his former authority. Stripped of his uniform, he felt exposed, his moral conflict bubbling to the surface. Why had he pulled the gun? Was it really suspicion or something uglier? Memories flooded. His father's rants about those people, the layoffs blamed on immigrants, the isolation that bred resentment. Lena visited him that night, her face etched with disappointment. "Harlan, you've been with me for 15 years. I saw potential in you. But this? Holding a federal agent at gunpoint because of his skin? It's unforgivable." Harlan hung his head. "I didn't know he was FBI. I just saw a threat." "You saw what you wanted to see," Lena said softly. "Darius Kane is one of the best. He's here investigating corruption, possibly in our department. Your actions could have derailed that." Harlan's eyes widened. Corruption? He thought of whispers among officers, favors exchanged. Had his bias blinded him to real dangers? Darius, meanwhile, debriefed in Lena's office. "I appreciate the intervention, Chief, but what about him? Charges?" Lena sighed. "Assault on a federal agent is serious. But Harlan's not all bad. He's got family, wife, kids. Struggles with PTSD from his dad's influence. I want justice, but maybe redemption too." Darius pondered. His own past echoed Harlan's. Abandonment, anger. "Give me time with him. Maybe I can help." The next day, Darius faced Harlan across a table in the interrogation room. Harlan's eyes were red-rimmed, defeat etched in his features. "Why are you here? To gloat?" Darius shook his head. "To talk. I'm Darius Kane, FBI. But before that, I was a kid like you, lost, angry. Foster homes taught me survival means seeing people, not stereotypes." Harlan scoffed, but curiosity sparked. "What do you know about me?" "Enough," Darius said. "Your dad was a vet, right? Mine were deported. We both built walls. But yours almost killed me." The words hung heavy. Harlan's defenses cracked. "I didn't mean—" "I was scared. This town, it's changing. People like you come in, take over." "People like me?" Darius echoed gently. "I'm American, Harlan. Born here. Fighting for the same justice you swore to uphold." Over hours, they talked. Harlan shared his fears, losing his job, his identity. Darius recounted cases where bias led to tragedy, but also stories of change. Cops who redeemed themselves through acts of kindness. Lena watched from behind glass, hope flickering. She assigned Harlan community service instead of immediate charges, with Darius overseeing. "Prove you can change," she said. Weeks blurred into a journey of transformation. Harlan volunteered at the community center, mentoring youth from diverse backgrounds. At first, he was awkward, his biases slipping in muttered comments. But the kids, curious, resilient, challenged him. There was Mia, a 12-year-old Latina girl whose family faced eviction. "Why do you look at me like that?" she asked one day. Harlan paused, shame washing over him. I don't know." Habit, I guess. Mia shrugged. Habits can change. My mom says so. Darius joined sessions, sharing FBI tales that humanized his role. One evening, they sat with Mia's family, helping pack boxes. Harlan fixed a leaky faucet, his hands steady. "I'm sorry," he told Mia's mother, "for everything." She nodded, tears in her eyes. Actions speak louder. Harlan's wife, Sarah, noticed the shift. Their marriage had strained under his anger, but now he listened, shared. "I'm trying to be better," he confessed one night. "For us, for the kids." Sarah hugged him. "It's about time." The corruption investigation deepened. Darius uncovered ties to local officials, including a sergeant Harlan respected. Confronted with evidence, Harlan grappled with loyalty versus justice. "I can't betray them," he said to Darius. "You already betrayed yourself," Darius replied. "This is your chance for bravery." Harlan testified anonymously, his voice trembling but firm. The ring crumbled. Arrests made. Willow Creek breathed easier, shadows lifting. The climax came at a town meeting. Lena addressed the crowd, praising the investigation. "But true change starts within," she said, calling Harlan forward. He stood, facing judgmental eyes. "I held Agent Kane at gunpoint because of my racism. I was wrong, blind. But he, and Chief Morrow, gave me a shot at redemption. I've seen the hidden struggles we all face: poverty, fear, loss. We can't let them divide us." Darius stepped up, clasping Harlan's shoulder. Harlan's act of bravery today, testifying, saved lives. Kindness isn't weakness, it's strength. The applause was tentative, then thunderous. Lena reinstated Harlan, but on probation. "You've earned it," she whispered. In that moment, Harlan realized the lesson. Bias was a chain he'd forged himself, but forgiveness and effort could break it. Justice wasn't just punishment. It was growth. Darius felt redemption too. His empathy had turned an enemy into an ally. As the meeting ended, Mia hugged Harlan. "You did good." He smiled, tears falling. Willow Creek wasn't perfect, but in this act of moral justice, hope bloomed, a lasting impact on hearts once hardened.